I found the problem with my dual monitor setup, I think.
Well, what's that?
I mean, it's not necessarily a problem, but it's like it's kind of silly, really. But when I moved this PC around, I just kind of plug stuff in apparently, and so my secondary monitor is going into my onboard video rather than the secondary slot on my NVIDIA card.
That's always a pain. Welcome everybody to the HarHar Podcast. I'm your host, Orky Dev. Today I'm joined by Kaver J and Shriecups.
That was my excitement.
Well, so that's how he feels about being here. Dev, how are you doing?
Well, honestly, there ain't no laws when you're breaking them claws. Ah, my eye!
I'm not drunk enough for this.
Dude, neither am I. That fucking went everywhere. What the fuck is wrong with
It took less than 5 minutes for shit to just utterly fall apart. Like, we've been live for over 6, but that's was intro music. So for the actual stream, it's taken less than 5 minutes.
I just found my new favorite alcoholic beverage.
White Claw?
Watermelon.
Watermelon White Claw? We can't be friends anymore.
Dude, how dare you?
I'm sorry, bro, but like, I tried Watermelon White Claw. Was not about it.
Tastes like watermelon to me.
It tastes like watered down watermelon.
When's the last time you had watermelon, Dev?
Sometime during the summer.
Makes our point. Makes my point anyway. I don't know if Steven's trying to make my point, but
yeah, it's gonna be a little watered down because there's other stuff in it. But the flavor is prominently watermelon. Flavoring. It's not even it's not even flavored like artificial watermelon. It tastes like regular watermelon.
The flavor is there. I'll give it that. But it's just, it's not enough of it for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair critique. I'll take that. To say it doesn't have that flavor would be an insult, though, because it tastes like a natural watermelon to me.
It does not have the flavor for me. Is the thing, is what I'll say. But
and I'm being hyperbolic by saying it's my new favorite alcohol. It's my new favorite White Claw, and it's my new favorite, like, if I'm not drinking hard liquor, drink.
Let's say your favorite hard liquor is whiskey sour.
That's my go-to. Not necessarily my favorite.
What's your favorite? Because I always thought it was whiskey sour too.
That's arguably my second favorite. My first favorite, I can down 3 within a minute and a half. Adios, motherfucker.
I figured it could have been that, but I was like,
you gotta blame Soy for that. He introduced that to me, and like ever since, it is like,
yeah, and clearly you have no impulse control if you're going for 3 in less than however many minutes.
A, it was the first TwitchCon he wasn't there with me, and 2, yeah, I didn't feel anything after for 3 hours, and later. Me and Tilmo were talking for 3 hours straight afterwards, and he's like, "How are you still functioning?" I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Functioning?
It was the same thing when I had the edible. He's like, "Dude, how are you functioning? You ate that whole thing." And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Until I laid in that bed, and then it was just like the most beautiful sleep I've ever had in my life.
I had someone else tell me that recently. Like the first time they had an edible, they're like, "I didn't feel anything until I passed out for 15 hours."
I didn't sleep that long. I slept 4 hours maybe, but it was the most refreshing 4 hours I have ever slept. And it was on a couch. Like, I don't get it. I woke up rejuvenated and ready for the next day.
No, the clan name is Dauntless Legion, Frankie.
Yeah, dude.
Like, if you can just request admission, I don't even know if that's a thing, but like, do that and I'll just add you that way.
How do I...
How do you what?
Never mind, this is completely off topic. We can not talk.
No, it's fine. This show doesn't have topics. That's the beauty of it.
Yes, that's true. I'm sitting here wondering how, like, your thing says on Discord says you're doing kingly stuff. Other people say like tastes like strawberries.
It's a custom message.
Yeah. You can set that.
Message.
So when you're not doing stuff, it says that.
Frankie, check your things now in Steam.
Current password. I don't see it.
Also, I am pretty sure Blue is asleep because this thing just went idle, so we will not find out about the game for a bit. Because he does. Listen, I don't blame him. He works and then naps. Usually, if he doesn't go directly into gaming with someone, he is napping or straight into Valorant.
Or Tarkov.
That too. He's grinding the crap out of Tarkov right now.
Oh, man.
So how's everyone's 2 weeks been since we didn't have a show last week, and I will explain why.
2 weeks. Work was a shit show. Past 2 weeks. Getting my daily workout in of lifting dead weight.
Is the dead weight
like,
a team member?
I'm a member. Yeah, it's a fucking team member. Like, it's a 3-person team. So I literally am picking up a third of a person's workload. Like, it's just shitty. Like, not the full third, because the other teammate is actually somewhat competent at their job. And that's really honestly all you need for me to be happy, is just be somewhat competent at your job. Just like give like a good effort, you know. And if you need help, ask. It's not the fact that you need help or that you don't know how to do anything that pisses me off. It's just that you give no effort. Like, they give no effort to their job. And I'm like, I'm the new guy still technically on this team. And this person regularly asks me for, hey, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? Like shit that I knew week 2 at latest. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, prime example is, I won't go like all technical detail on it, but basically he's like, hey, can you install this program through Software Center, which is this thing that we use, to this person? And I'm like, that don't have that. That's never had that. I can factually tell you that hasn't had that for over a year. And again, he's been here longer than me. Yeah. Like, he left 3 or 4 tickets open. Like, we do on-site rotation, so I can understand if he couldn't get all of these done in a day, because, you know, complicated things could have occurred. But I show up to the facility that he was at the day before this morning, and none of those were done. None of the tickets were done. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I found out later that...
Why was he on site? I'm just saying.
Better question is, why is he still employed? I had my shot, in fairness. Here's the thing. So I decided to be a little nice about it. I had a one-on-one review with my boss. One of the questions my boss asked me was, how is it working with the team? You have any problems? Things like that.
All the problems.
I got this close to just... But no, I didn't do it. Because my thought process was, we got this pandemic bullshit. Nobody needs to be getting fired or pressured on him right now. And at the time, he only had the occasional stupid tendency. But yet, almost immediately after this review, like he knew, he just went full stupid. And now, I feel like I can't go to my boss because he's petty about these sort of things, and he'll call me out for, well, didn't you say that blah, 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 there were no problems? Like, why are you saying there are problems now? And I'm like, well, man, just because there are. Like, what do you want from me?
That's fair.
And yeah, and dude, just the workload was just a mess. Like, plus side, I left today. Our queues are in fantastic shape.
That's good.
So yeah, so I hope to start Monday with significantly less bullshit than my last 2 Mondays, which is not a hard bar to beat. let me just be real. Like, less bullshit, I promise you. You do not have to try hard to attain that. It's just a little bit less. We could get a whole lot less. Like, I have the potential for a whole lot less now. Sup, nerds? Sup?
Sup, nerd?
Hello.
But
How's your week, Steven?
yeah, it's
2 weeks.
I'm sorry that things haven't been okay for you, Jay.
You know, here's the thing. It's apart from work, everything's been going okay. Just work is just a fucking shit show. And that's the reason I didn't stream this week, because I'm just like, I don't have the energy for this. So apart from that, going all right.
For my weeks, it's same old. Like, the only thing that's really changed is my relationship with my family, because they've doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on their opinions and their views, and they're ignorant at times and just not willing to open up to change. So, that's fun. That's really all I've been struggling with. Like, I got my diploma in the mail, which I showed off on Creative Casual, so I won't do it again here. But yeah, I have a copy of my diploma all nice and framed up over on the wall over there. And the only thing that's that's new otherwise is I start work again on Monday.
Like, for real this time?
For real this time.
Like, you didn't get an accidental important person email? Like, for real?
This time, for real, I'm actually going to work on Monday. So, yeah. Though it's going to be fun. This work meeting on Monday is going to be us talking about returning to work, new policies, training, and stuff like that. And I can't wait to be the one who's like, hey, guess what? This isn't safe. In the last 3 days, we've had 25,000 people die in this state, and they're opening schools. How am I knowing? How am I going to be protected? Like, those are going to be the questions I'm asking.
As you should.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for the 10 biddies there.
Yeah, thanks for the 10 bits. A celebratory 10 bits. I'll take it.
And make sure it goes into your pay.
Oh, please, sir, may I have some more?
When I split it and there's like a 10-cent differential, I'm like, that's automatically his.
No, you'll see it and then you'll be like, I guess Jay gets 5 cents too.
What has Jay done to earn that? Like, I'll be fucking honest about it. What have I done lately? I ain't done shit.
We'll negotiate that in your contract soon.
Okay.
My 2 weeks have been crazy. Yeah, because you're going back to work. That's going to be nuts. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, with everything. Like, because your job...
I get to take pictures of kids who probably won't know how to cover their mouths.
Dude,
like,
I'm not sure to cover yours.
Mm-hmm. One of the questions I have is, like, they have all these policies on we're going to have to be a lot more cleanly, and we're going to have to, like, clean things in between every single person using it, which makes sense, honestly, it does. But then my question is, like, what happens, because we're definitely not going to have enough employees, unless we're doing a lot less schools, but we're definitely not going to have enough employees, so we're going to have to use parent volunteers. But in the odd chance that parent volunteer happens to be an asymptomatic carrier, who's in charge? Like, who's at fault for this? Like, these are all questions that I have to ask.
Like, the way that my job is operated with this is, we have our little office in each facility, and there's only been one of us mostly in each of the facility offices. Like, last week there was me and one of the server guys was in there for a little bit. Like, he left, but we were wearing masks and stuff. But when when we're by ourselves, I wipe everything down, and my office door shut. I take my mask off. But yeah, I have to go out on this floor, this hot, moldering warehouse floor, and like everybody has to have masks. Everybody, there's a person at the front door of each facility, and their job is to take temps and to give you a mask if you don't have one. Like you're not getting past security without a mask. And it took them about to like have the system and to have the masks available. It took them about a month. Like at this point, like we had our own homemade masks, like me and my fiance, and it was like y'all ain't giving me shit to work with. Like I ran out of hand sanitizer at a certain point, so I was using like Clorox wipes and.
That ain't great for your hands.
Dude, we ain't nothing. Not like I didn't use it that much, but like I had other teammates. Like, but we had this one jug of hand sanitizer, and it's just stupid, man.
No, I get that because at work that's one of the things we've been dealing with because we are offering masks to the door, but because of asset protection is a big thing at work. And Target considers his employees assets. They don't want us to get into a fight with a guest. Especially because most of the door people are like, we have one person who's pregnant who's the door ticker, counting how many people are in the store. They don't want those people getting in fights with guests. That's AP's job. So, yeah. No, my 2 weeks have been crazy. So, talked about it last Monday. On Critically Casual. My alarm clock broke, okay? So I overslept. I got to work in like 5 minutes. I was only 15 minutes late, somewhere in there. Wasn't even that late. Saturday. I work at noon. Set my alarms for 7, 8-ish. I'm gonna sleep by 1.
You went to sleep at 1 a.m.?
Yeah, I started to fall asleep at 1 a.m.
Oh. Okay.
Which is good for me. Straight up.
Right, yeah. No, what I thought you just said there, you slept till 1. I was like, what the?
I almost did. I slept about nearly 12 hours. I slept till like 12:30.
Are you okay, bud?
I don't know. Honestly, I might actually be like, unbeknownst to me at the time, but in hindsight, I might be in a small depressive episode in the sense that like, I don't feel depressed, but I think my brain, at least on a subconscious level, might be a little depressed because I'm like really tired and exhausted, especially the later in the week I go. Which is a depressive episode. It's just a light for me, at least. It's a light depressive episode. Monday. I oversleep by like an hour and a half, I want to say almost, by an hour, something like that. Because on Monday, at 1 o'clock in the morning, like maybe 15 minutes after I had fallen asleep, I hear on my back door. Which is right across from the, like, I leave my door open and I can see my back door. There's just a small room in between that. Which, apparently I wake up easy to that. Because I jolted up. I just see lights outside my windows. Walking around. I don't know what's going on. So, get up, find a jacket. I'm finding this stuff in the dark because I'm afraid to turn on the light. At that point. Because my anxiety just jumps through the roof, and I'm like, and my brain's going like, man, what is actually happening? I have no idea. Well, I find a jacket, I step outside, it's just some officers like, oh, hey, sorry, we knocked on your door, we were looking for whoever called 911 in the neighborhood, we found them, they're being taken to the hospital. From what it sounds like, from that information, I gather that they called 911, but they weren't able to respond on the phone, so they weren't exactly able to tell exactly where they were, so they pinged, like, that area. So I don't fall back asleep until 3.
Yeah.
Wake up at 4 to a migraine.
Ugh.
That had started earlier in that, after that anxiety episode started, like there was a mild, I'm like, I'm just going to try to sleep through it. Wake up to that. Don't fall back asleep until 5, and then sleep until like nearly 9 o'clock. So yeah, I've been dealing with that. The reason why the podcast didn't happen last week, I was supposed to be off at 4:30. Didn't get off. Oh, no. I was supposed to be off. Yeah, I was supposed to be off at 4:30. Normal time. But I had to stay late because stuff in the store needed to get done. And people weren't there. And I didn't have a lot. I still had extra time I could add to my hours. I'm like, closer to 40? Sure. And when I got home, I did have to deal with the invasion of the ants.
Oh, come
From my back
on.
door. So somehow, like I saw, so what the series of events for 3 days was this. I saw a couple ants at my back door, and then like 2 got inside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna handle this. I called my dad. I'm like, hey, you got any old ant traps? He's like, yeah, cool. I'll swing by tomorrow to grab them. Get up the next morning. There's a few more, so I'm like, all right, I'm getting those ant traps. Set up the ant traps. That next morning, so the 2 days after I found the first one, it's like lines are cutting through my kitchen. I'm like, how the fuck what the fuck? My kitchen isn't even that dirty. I had like a couple dishes on the counter from like the night before. And like I looked in and I'm like, I regret having lemonade last night. So I got home and I bought Raid and was just raiding through my kitchen. The amount of ant corpses at the end of the day was insurmountable.
You murderer.
Yes. They were invading my home. And then 2 days ago, I found a yellow jacket wasp outside my back door by where I park. And I hate bees.
Considering the pattern with the ants, I would imagine you took it pretty seriously.
I'm going to be taking care of it this weekend.
And that's part of the reason why we want to play the game we want to play tonight. It's so Dev can actualize his anger now and later.
God.
Are we playing that tonight?
I thought we were. I think.
I mean,
it's Blue said it's a beta. Is why it says it's
Why it's a preview.
Yeah. On the Game
All right.
Pass. Which makes sense if they're advertising the beta on there. That's actually a good way to sell a game. I'm gonna say
Free
that.
beta, but you can buy the full game.
Well, because the full game's not out yet. It's still a beta.
What 30?
it's early access. Like,
Because people make you pay the full game for an early access game, Steven.
I hate that.
yeah.
Well, imagine
I
this.
kinda-
When it actually releases, it's probably going to be 60.
No, because there are a lot of reason why I don't much like the system is they don't ever release it is the problem.
Well, it depends on the game. I'll say that. If these guys are partnered with Xbox on stuff, I'm pretty sure they're going to have a deadline.
Like, I haven't played Subnautica at all because of the early access, and then everyone having a YouTube stream or YouTube series about it. And then I don't I'm sure they finished the game. Technically, I honestly don't know if they ever finished the game or not.
Yeah, I
But
think it
they
released.
Yeah, but they immediately afterwards started another Subnautica because of all the stuff that they learned from the new Subnautica, the old Subnautica. So it's like, and now that game is in early access, beta, whatnot. So,
Because it worked so well the first time.
mm-hmm.
Also, Subnautica, talk about a dead horse, honestly, if you're looking to get into anything.
I've played it before. More recently,
I mean, I've
within the
seen
last year. But I think
I've
people
seen
like
it.
me playing it because I get scared.
Yeah, you just get too absorbed into your characters that you're playing.
I really do. I don't know why.
There's a couple things. Like your left and right hemisphere.
Probably. Listen, that's for my psychiatrist who diagnosed. So, on another note, because LaBelle brought up in chat banned Aaron's and Kyle's, I thought of something funny today at work. I don't know if it's because subconsciously my brain had processed something. So you've seen those Sure Jan memes from the Brady Bunch? Sure Jan. Well, some people have been using it for changing Jan out for Clan. For someone who's really saying something that's obviously racist and bigoted and being like, sure, Clan. To, sarcastically be like, oh, of course, yeah, sure. I thought of a name for racist white women.
It's not Karen?
No. Ku Klux Jan. I don't know why my brain subconsciously combined the Sure Jan meme with the Sure Clan meme. I'm like, there's an idea there to mock these people.
Jay's just in disbelief. Jay, go pour yourself a double shot of whiskey. Then you'll get used to the wordplay.
It's only one shot of tequila and one shot of triple sec in this margarita, and I've already come to realize that clearly wasn't enough.
Shut up. Listen, I thought of it today at work, and I don't know if my brain like subconsciously
To
processed
your
that.
credit, it's not the worst thing I heard.
True.
But the fact of that we're in this subject matter is just like, where's he going?
Oh,
Where's
I was gonna mock the shit out of them, as you do.
No, yeah, 100%.
Which is why I love the Sure Jan being used for Sure Clan, like to just like sidebar. Oh, of course, yeah, sure, sweetie, bye bye.
There's I remember this was like kind of like there's an odd jab of the Ku Klux Klan back at the y'all ever watch MASH? You even know what MASH is?
Yes.
For one, you know what MASH is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure, dude.
It was on.
understand
It's on that one channel that was always right above Hallmark. Can't remember the name of the channel, but it always had the old TV shows, and MASH is one of them.
Every
Yeah.
region has different TV guides.
Well, if you had DirecTV, it was right above.
No,
ABC
I can't
Family.
even remember what it is either. Yeah, I can't
Bra-
remember.
no,
what
it's not
was
Bravo.
on.
It's something else.
No.
Are you talking
know,
MASH or MASH?
MASH.
MASH,
MASH
Military
is in
show.
Hawkeye. Yeah. So
which was actually a really
There's an
good depiction, actually, with comedic takes.
it's a great show. Oh my god, it's so funny. And like, here's the thing though, like I have this conversation regularly with people who are near our age, like regardless of which side of the spectrum that you fall on, and like plenty of them go, "What's that?" You know, they look at me like I'm the weirdo, and I'm the one that's like, "You poor deprived child." Anyway, there's a scene in it where this guy like wants to open his own cafe back home. He's like, "See, I'll get back home and I'll open my own Korean barbecue joint. It's like Kimbo's Korean Cafe, 3Ks. You get it?" And Hawkeye, without missing a beat, is like, "Yeah, you can buy your linen from the Ku Klux Klan." And then BJ goes, "What about the eye holes? Man, you can put the salt and pepper shakers in them." And I was just like, "Yeah."
It aired on CBS.
There we go.
No,
Well, no, CBS was the original network, but like, what
we're
was
talking
it?
about the channel that shows the reruns. Like, it shows a lot of old reruns, some stuff. Like, it had Cheers on there all the time.
CBS, Hallmark, TV Land.
Maybe TV Land. No.
I'm trying to see what other networks it could be on.
It looks like now it's like MeTV.
Yeah, MeTV.
Maybe that was
May
it.
6, 20, as of May 6, 2020. No, there was
Oh.
another one.
Yeah, there was one before it. Because it had like Beck, it had Cheers, it had that, it had a few others.
Ion Life and Ion Television.
May have been
It
Ion.
may have been Ion.
I think it's 100% Ion.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Ion.
Because is the Ion thing like a straight down Ion? The logo?
Ion.
Sorry, I thought it, by chance I thought it might have been up there. My bad.
It literally just says Ion Television is their logo.
Yeah.
There's nothing special.
It's an I.
about it.
Yeah, but this was it. No, I recognize this. It
Okay.
was on Ion Television. Because they always did like commercials like next on Ion Television. And it was like,
Well, we got to the
Why
bottom of
didn't
that
they
mystery.
do something like keep your eye on television?
because they
That's
realized their
good.
name was. I mean, it is good, but I don't think it helps their case any.
I mean, the people who were already watching it were watching through it anyways. It was like my mom who was at home all day. Excuse me.
We watched so many MASH reruns, and we taped so many MASH reruns. I eventually almost had the full series saved on our DVR. And then we wanted a bunch of other shows, and so we sacrificed the MASH recordings. But then I was gifted the complete series DVD series set.
That's awesome.
Oh, I have watched the absolute crap.
I haven't seen every episode, but it is a fantastic show.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's so great. I hadn't seen every episode prior to me owning the full set either, but I was so very happy to have been gifted that. It was kind of a gift for the whole family too, because mom or dad would be in the living room and be like, hey, let's start season 5 or whatever. It's like, all right. So, yeah, it was good stuff.
Nice.
Susie, sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I'm just like, I thought of that, and so that, like, that is my label for anytime I see someone who's getting labeled like Karen, who's being racist at a park or something like that, you're like,
Ku Klux Jan.
no, that's a Ku Klux Jan. And then I'll do the, sure, Jan, gif under it.
It's not going to be a thing. Fetch won't be a thing.
It won't be, but it'll be my thing. For any bigoted white bitch.
That it will.
that's a thing. Bigoted white bitch.
You heard of the BBW, but look at the BWB.
We're landing on thick tonight, aren't we?
A little bit, sorry. I'm coming in hot tonight, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Well, it's just like, I mean, I've been dealing with it like a little bit today. Someone we know was talking about mail-in voting. And like...
Oh, yes. I appreciate you standing up and talking to him.
I had to, because like my state's been doing mail-in voting for years.
Iowa this year did their state voting, and it's the smoothest it's ever been because of mail-in voting.
I was about to say, like, it's the smoothest voting experience I ever had. Like,
the fact that like
Kentucky's
you get it in the mail, and then you could drop it off if you want, or you could set it in your mailbox if you get it done early.
Mail it back. Yeah.
Yeah. You have two options. You don't have to wait in a line. You don't have to do anything else.
So what was this person's malfunction with mail-in voting?
Fraud, because he's afraid that elected officials will create fraud from it and tamper with it. But my thing is,
they don't have plenty of opportunities with the current system.
That was my exact thing. And then he brought it back to being like, well, you know, with everything going on, I don't think it's as bad as people think it is with the COVID stuff and all that. And, you know, I mean...
Yeah, he's a non-COVIDer too. That's something.
You know, and he's like, I'm willing. Like, I don't think it's that bad, and I'm willing to risk it.
You two are great. I haven't drank enough for that guy.
And he said that, like, I haven't spun my retort out yet, but my retort is something along the lines of, sure, you're willing to risk it, but what about everyone else? What about everyone else? Because, like, I hate it when people are like, oh, well, the death toll's not that bad. We are at 3.4% nationwide.
Dude, no, like...
From confirmed cases to death.
No, yeah, 4% of our population is dying. We hold 20% of the world's total death cost, like total deaths overall, and 25% of the entire infected rate of the entire world. But it's not real. Like, I have people in my daily life who are like, media talking about COVID-19, and it shows Godzilla, and then they show like a little gecko, and it's like COVID-19 in real life. And I'm like, when has 150,000 people dead ever been just a tiny gecko?
People, like, I never actually thought that collectively our nation was as dumb. I knew it was dumb, but like any faith or even pride for that matter in our general populace, like,
I've lost it, man. Like, I mean, with everything that just happened too. So, like, in the last 2 days, right, we had the fact that like this has been going on for a while, but like the post is like, hey, we don't know if we're going to be able to stay open in some places. That Trump was like, well, I mean, maybe we should push back the election. And I'm like, yeah, what fascist bullshit is this?
Yeah.
And then today, it's rumored, it's not confirmed, but apparently they might have let the COVID happen in some places because it was in blue states.
No, that was something that was rumored from the very beginning.
Yes, but like apparently there's more sources leaking.
Mm-hmm. Like people were wondering from the very beginning, why the hell did they send the Starline cruiser here to California in the first place?
No, people have been wondering, but like there's potentially like confirmed that like during like the COVID group who was supposed to take care of it was part,
Dude,
Jared Kushner's team, because we put the Kush in it. That was smart. Apparently, that was one of the things said.
Like that's going into.
And also, dude, I remember months back, right? Like we had this plane full of people that were stuck in China for forever. That they're like, people are all like, bring them home. And I'm like, if this is like a thing, you guys might want to like slow that down. And then they're like, yeah, they're coming home and they're going to be under loose observation. That's what they said. I'm like, no, I'm thinking these people need to live in a tent for a little while. I mean, come on. Not that I'm saying it didn't all stem from them, but it was just like, this just seems like a bad idea.
And then people comparing it to other populations. Oh, well, we have more because we have more population. Sure, yeah, we have more because we have a bigger population. But, like, compare us to fucking South Korea, who had a case the same fucking day that we had our first case. And their ratio is, fucking 10 times better than ours?
Yeah.
And then people don't think about the fact that, like, on top of the deaths from COVID, this is killing other people. Because you have people who are falling, there are other symptoms of this pandemic. Because you have people who aren't able to get to the hospital to get treated for stuff when they need to, dying.
Yep.
You also have to think about the other thing. I talked about it briefly, that I was in a small depress. There are people who are going through far worse than me right now, mental health-wise, because what probably triggered mine was the fact that I had an entire week, the first week ever for me, where I didn't have, outside of Twitch, I had zero contact with anyone. I've never had that, really. I've always had someone I could go hang out with. I've always had something I can go do. Yep. I've always had something. But that week that I had my test and everything and I was supposed to stay home, there was nothing. I had no one else except for being online. And I think it's what triggered it for me. And there are other people going through that.
Like a few years ago, I was living in a different apartment, different town, another shitty kind of bigger but still small town. And I was just like, I was depressed then because of my lack of contact with the people in my life. And if I had this when I was doing that, my mental state would be a whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah, no,
100%. Well, and that's the thing though, is like my problem. I can understand and appreciate these people to be like, I need to see people and all this other stuff, and I totally understand and appreciate it. And it's not so much those people that I'm as mad at as these people who, like masks, for example. Like the day that masks became political instead of health and safety, like we were joking around the other day, and I was like, you know what? No, like because how there's a whole big argument about if I had time control powers, I'd go back and correct some mistakes in my life. No, I just turn the dial back a lot less and find the origin of the face masks political statement and just stop it. Stop what you're about to say. Don't say it.
Yeah.
I said don't say it.
Well, and the other thing too is like, I want those people. I said this before. I want those people to be like, okay, well, next time you go to fucking get a surgery of any sort, and that doctor doesn't get to wear a mask then, because fuck you.
Yeah. He's like,
doesn't have to wear gloves.
Doctor don't have to wear gloves. Doctor don't have to wear a mask. Doctor don't even have to wash his hands because you apparently have a problem with that too. Like, that's just. All right, guys.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like masks, which have been effective for years, since before the bubonic plague. We've been using masks.
Can we talk about the carbon monoxide poisoning people for just a second? Like, are you
even
kidding?
Science doesn't agree with that.
Dude, are you kidding me? How did that get started? Dude,
my favorite part of it is that masks are too thick that they'll hold in your carbon monoxide, but they're too loose to stop COVID from going through.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other.
No.
Especially because COVID particles are larger than CO2 particles.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're combined atoms.
Size of it, like the microscopic like size comparison is the same. Like by if I recall correctly, that the scientists were essentially like, this thing's actually pretty huge. Like it's like on a microscopic scale, like it's not subtle. Like it's just there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, there are people with masks who have like lung issues who are wearing masks, and they wear masks yearly sometimes because it helps them.
Yeah.
Guess what? Because like masks actually help with like allergies and stuff like that too for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Not me, because my nose is extra sensitive, and like that thing up there against my nose just like makes me like fucking nuts for some reason, and it just activates my nose. And I think it's just because my nose just gets triggered easily from that kind of stuff. But like I know people who will wear a mask because it stops pollen from going into your nose.
Yeah. Well, and
also,
like
left or right? Which one should I try first? I haven't tried either.
what are
of
the
these.
flavors? I can't read it.
Lemon or tangerine?
Oh, lemon. I wanna see your face on the lemon.
I doubt either of them are gonna taste good.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be great, but I think lemon's gonna be worse. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, dude, here's the thing too, and the differences in people astound me. Like, I currently live in a big city. I go out to the grocery store. Everybody's wearing masks. Like, I mean, literally, you are in the not cool crowd if you are not wearing a mask around here. Like, that's just how it is. I went back to my home small town recently, and we went by Walmart, and we were the not cool crowd because we were wearing masks.
Yep.
And I was like, how? Well, it's like, so like Walmart as a business, like we're still doing their mask thing. But like I would look around in the parking lot, and usually I would see people already like have a mask like prepped. And like I didn't see it, and it dawned on me, it's like, no, these are like a bunch of ignorant rednecks that are making their wives go in and wear the mask and do the shopping. Like they're just sitting out in their cars. Yeah, that is exactly what's happening there. And dude, it amazes me, honestly.
Dude, I think I had a person think I was a woman because of my mask. Like, I went shopping at the nearby grocery store.
Oh my god!
Like, I wear 2 masks when I go out. I have like the normal like fabric paper.
You have a beard mask.
Yeah, and then I have a mask that covers the beard because I don't like the way it looks underneath the mask. And then as I'm putting groceries away in my car, this guy just stops and goes, "Hey, I can help you with that if you need to, if your car doesn't have enough room." I'm like, "No, don't worry, I'll be fine." And then his face just turns into horror.
Dude, see, that's funny because you just turned what was more than likely going to be some misogynistic bullshit from him into such a learning experience, hopefully.
Oh my god.
He's probably going to go, man, maybe I shouldn't do that.
He didn't learn shit. He's thinking, damn, my aim was way off.
Yes, but, you know, I'm hoping that maybe it was a learning experience, okay?
That, like I even had my hair back in a ponytail and everything.
You know what else we can hope is a learning experience? This whole COVID bullshit. Will it be?
No, it won't.
Because when it finally,
well, it's like
when it finally is like over, and you know, vaccine and recovery and all this other stuff happens and stuff goes back to normal, these same people who are the conspiracy theorists will be like, see, told you nothing was wrong.
I'm gonna watch this new PBS thing coming out. It's about the fact that conspiracy theories have become the mainstream because of Alex Jones, Roger Stone, and Trump on PBS. I'm gonna be watching that, which, I mean, most of this is because... Go ahead, Stevin, sorry.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, the one that really pisses me off is the Mayfair conspiracy theory. Wayfair conspiracy theory. Have you guys not heard about this?
No.
It's the reason why people are talking about pedophilia lately. Like, because what happens is, apparently, if you go to wayfair.com, you can find a bunch of really expensive furniture, like cabinets and dressers and things like that, and it'll be titled, like, letters, numbers, Tiffany closet cabinet, $20,000. Like, and it'll be like Danielle, August, and they'll show like some really obscure names like Muhammad and like things like that. And then they'll go to this website called yandex.com and type those numbers in, and they'll get pictures of kids in like bathing suits and some slightly suggestive clothing. And apparently you can dig even further, and you could occasionally find missing children's reports with names that match Wayfair closet cabinet names and stuff like that. And apparently people are suggesting that Wayfair is just an outlet for human trafficking, specifically children. And it started this whole reign of pedophilia exists in the US, which it does, and human trafficking that exists in the US, which it does. But they started this argument, at least the people that I have seen, just because they didn't like the Black Lives Matter movement. They're like, we'll talk about something that bugs me. Pedophilia.
You know, what's interesting...
Is that why there was a protest out yesterday in my town? I drove by a protest that was about child trafficking.
Possibly. Like, a lot of this stuff wasn't popular until, So... Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. Like, yeah, this thing kind of... So not with the Wayfarers, but like this thing kind of came up out of nowhere on a couple of my social media news feeds too. Only it was more of like something that I honestly kind of thought was like very still kind of like taboo, like don't mess with this. But a guy who is a, you know, kind of quite religious, posts this thing and says, we're letting them take our nation to hell one step at a time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking probably more of the same. And then I scroll down and the basic premise is like that kids can have older partners.
Oh, yes, I've been seeing that too. Like,
and I'm sitting there like,
ageism,
what?
I think is now. Like,
yes. Like, I think that's what it's called. And I'm just sitting there like,
it's like, yeah, in this time
okay.
Time of peace, culture, and acceptance, we should accept age differences.
And here's what I say to that: I will break your hand or remove it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not care who you are, where you come from. That is just wrong. Again, but I've seen that once though. Like there was like this big spurt of it, right? And now it's just disappeared. I can't find it anymore. Granted, I'm not looking, but I can't find it.
I can find it almost every day.
God, see, that's the thing. I'm also real selective about who I have on my social media feeds because I was like, I can't anymore. That's also why I made the post that I made on my birthday. Did y'all see that?
Not actually.
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you should go back and look at it. I had a lot of fun typing that.
I'll have to. Like with my. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's essentially like I basically was like, listen, it was like back when Kentucky governor was like doing the mask mandate and things, and people were all like freaking out over it. And I'm basically like, one, it's not that big a deal. Two, blah, yada, yada. And then finally, I'm like, and if you believe in any way that this like tramples on your rights, please do me a favor and remove yourself from my friends list because I've had
that
enough.
one, yes.
Yeah, I've had enough idiocy in the latter half of my 28th year. I'd like to start my 29th with as little as possible. Thanks, love you, bye. Like, it was just. It's such a good. My sister texted me. My brother-in-law texted me. He's like, "You just feel like being a little shit today, don't you?" And I'm like, "It's my day. What are they gonna do?"
Nothing.
What are they gonna do? Which is funny because I'm generally like the social media quiet guy. Like I won't do that. I don't ever get political hardly. That's like my first, if not, that is for sure my most, maybe even my first like actual real political kind of statement that I've really ever made on my Facebook. Yeah, it's so funny because I got a bunch of likes and comments that are essentially like, "Yeah, good job, man. Yeah," this is like from all the people I expected that would agree. Because again, I chose some of those people like somewhat wisely. But I intended to start some cyber fights with a couple of the stupids, but none of them took the bait.
See, that's the opposite with my side. Like, I've gotten in so many cyber fights with the parts of my family that I wasn't expecting. That like they haven't unfriended me, but they have now officially unfollowed me, so they won't see anything I post unless I tag them in it directly. Because that's how much I have irritated them. Even though the worst part about this whole thing is I didn't ever get into like an actual argument. Like, which
they
is
just
the worst.
Disagree with what you're saying to that extent.
Yes. Like what ends up happening is I'll say my thing, they'll say their reply. I'll say my reply. They'll say their reply and then end it with, "But I'm not arguing." And then they won't reply afterwards. Even though I can come up with another reply, and then another reply, and then another reply, afterwards it'll be, "Okay, cool, ... And that's it. Like, they're just done.
Yeah, it's like you have literally beat them into logic submission. Like they're in the corner. The gloves are up. The TKO is about to be called.
It's so bad because it's gotten to the point where I could just reply one thing. Like I could just say one thing, and it's immediately anger and defense and so like for my little social experiments has kind of failed me, where I wanted to show people other perspectives, and now they just don't talk to me at all. And
I was hopeful about your little experiment. I'll be honest.
But the thing that also sucks though is because it's not only like my family members, it's other people that I've went to school with, both in high school and in college, and like these are all people that I really enjoyed their company, but now their views are like really not
skewing them.
This is where, you know, and it sucks. It's actually, I mean, it's very unpleasant to get to this point, but I've kind of over the years have learned to look at it as a little bit of a perk, because though your experiment failed, you have essentially gained to what I like to call the opportunity to cut dead weight, which is basically like, these are not people. Essentially, like if people like the views that you've been telling me about, like your own family's doing this, which is just suck. I mean, I honestly don't know how I'd react. Like, I really don't. I don't think I could say it's, if my own family was proven to be this dumb or this bigot, like I honestly don't think I could be as civil.
I'm in the same boat as him, and I'm debating. Like, I don't think I could go to Christmas. Is the thing. Like, I'm at that point.
Like, yeah, and I just don't get it. I don't fathom it. I don't want to imagine it. Like
almost
Star's family members, I'm told from her, are kind of in the stupid category, mostly on COVID. I don't know what their things on race are.
Dude, like with my situation, it was so upsetting because I literally went to the post office after one of these arguments, picked up my diploma in a box at the post office, and I went from like sheer happiness to finally having a physical copy of my diploma after 3 years from graduating to just almost crying in my car because I went through the realization of, wow, my family members really don't care about this accomplishment, or if they do, they don't act like they do.
I'm say doing a hell of a job showing it.
Yeah. So.
Well, here's the thing, man. If it ever comes to the point that you wanna get way the heck out of there.
Oh, he is out of there. He's not around them.
No, I'm just saying, you even further, we got a guest room here, rent free.
I mean, at this point, there are things that I need to work out. Like, part of the reason why I'm not entirely crushed by the things that were told to me is some of it's true. Like, my mom has told me she thinks I am wasting my life at this point. Like, she thinks me living with my dad is a waste of time.
As opposed to what exactly?
Her options were living with her or living alone, like living away from my dad. She would rather me live with her than live with my dad, for one. But,
okay, well, like, to counter that argument, isn't that essentially almost the exact same thing you would be doing now with worse internet? Because I remember how that stream went.
No, yeah. The difference would be I would be living even more in the middle of nowhere than I would be here. And she has told me that she wants me to go back to school so I can actually get a career and do things. But it's like, I have a career. I'm a photographer. I'm not working right now because we're in a pandemic.
You had a pretty steady job before all the shit went down,
and sure, I don't make a lot of money, but I still make enough money to pay my bills, and I help pay for groceries and rent here. Well,
and another thing too you can do too is your thing that you're doing is you have multiple skills that you can use in your free time to create art that can get recognized and get you further along your path. You have options because of the skills you went to college for. It's not immediately you are doing it. That's the other, at least in this day and age, because we have a bunch of people who are like, hey, you should go to college for your thing, who are also the ones who are holding those positions that don't let the new people get into those positions. And then also you fall into immense debt.
Hey, this is an intro level position requiring 5 years of experience. Fuck all of you people. Are you kidding me?
One of the problems that I was told
oh my god
schooling was as a filmmaker, one of the first jobs you'll get is a production assistant. And when you apply for a production assistant, guess who reads your applications? Other production assistants, other people where you might be taking their job if you get hired. It's
dude,
people.
Let me tell you something, man. Freaking any job, with the problem with my profession these days is it's incredibly undervalued by a lot of companies. They don't pay enough for IT guys.
Oh, no, they do not.
They just absolutely do not. And so
quick question.
Huh? Yeah.
For your IT, do you do mostly software or hardware?
Hardware.
Okay. I
do a blend, though, is the thing. So, okay. It really it depends on what the situation calls for. Today, just for an example, it was a hardware related issue because there's these scales that people measure weight on, and the weight is automatically sent to this program. So it could be somewhat of a software issue, but the software I'm not authorized with, so I couldn't do that. So I have to verify in that situation if it's a hardware issue or if it's a driver issue, which I guess is kind of software. Ended up being hardware because somehow the scale got unplugged from the computer, and I don't understand how that's even possible because it's in this conveyor kind of strip, and I mean it's intentional. Some motherfucker kicked it loose, had to have. So
Nice.
Other times it's people need certain softwares, and we have a cache of approved softwares that I can remotely push to them, so that's kind of a software kind of related thing. Light network troubleshooting. Hey, is this thing connected to the Wi-Fi? Can it ping? Can you access it as web viewer? Blah 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 blah. So it's kind of a jack of all kind of trades kind of thing, master of not really any of them. And of course you work on printers, which is just a shit show all on its own category.
Yeah, my dad, he works for HP. He goes to anywhere that they have HP printers and computers and things like that. It's kind of,
so he's a printer technician.
Yes, specifically, but he's got other trainings towards other things past that.
Right. I would never want that job.
See, here's the thing. He has told me himself, I've been here for this transition where he got the job, where he's had the job, and he, at the beginning of this year, maybe the beginning of last year, he was told that he would no longer be eligible for raises because for his position, that's just not what his company would do. He got paid the most that he could get paid for his position. So what does my dad do? He starts doing job qualifications and taking classes and starts learning how to fix other things. So he gets qualified to work with Wells Fargo and Bank of America, and now he's going and fixing laptops and all this other stuff.
Yep.
They still told him that he's still not qualified to get a raise.
Here's the thing. It's shitty. It's honestly like, and he works for HP, like as in HP printers, like that HP.
Yes, he works directly for.
Wow.
He even calls everybody. He doesn't call them HP. He calls it Hewlett Packard. Like,
okay, yeah.
Like it actually is. So
here's the thing with that is like that has to be like a, it's obviously I don't think. Here's what I think. Just partly because I still have a string of hope for humanity in certain regards.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge technology company, is kind of like, it's what I do. And there are assholes mixed in within management. So I can totally see someone in that branch of Hewlett Packard being like, nah. But I can't imagine that being like total company policy. If it is, then that is like utter fucking bullshit. And I think, something to the point that I own an HP printer and I would gladly throw it in the street if if the whole company does it that bullshit.
Like, it's gotten to the point that he's told me that, like, he has to sit down at his computer, at his laptop, for about 3 hours just to organize all of his work orders, because they don't have just one solid program, because he does so many different divisions. Like, he does the printers.
This poor man does not get his tickets by email. I know that's not what does he do?
He gets it mostly through email.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Like, he has all these programs that he has to go through to like turn in his work orders and turn in his pay. But
oh my God,
dude, we have a better system. We don't use email. We have an app for that.
Yeah, but he sits there most of the time going through his emails like, I have to do this, I have to do this.
We have
plus he has the largest area in California to get through. So
dude, the job that I have right now is we use this thing called Jira, which is where you can send an email to the service and it like can auto generate a ticket. And from that, our service desk looks at it, and then if they can help, they do, and if not, they send it down to whichever on-site facility queue that it qualifies in. And that's, in a perfect world, that's how our tickets operate. Is that how they operate? No, because what you're supposed to do is like give accurate, detailed description about what is your problem, your computer name, your email address, all this other shit, of which they have, like, the computer name is a little obscure thing, but there's a policy and a setting in Windows to where you can actually make that display on your desktop, and we do that. You have no excuse to not know your computer name because it is on your damn desktop, and we know for a fact it is because we prep every computer that an employee gets. I digress. And that's how we get tickets, and you can see who's assigned the ticket. Like, you can take the assignment for yourself and blah, blah, blah. It's in progress. It's waiting. It's done. But when I worked last year, guess technically year before last now, and I was doing IT support for a freaking school district, a 12 school district, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of 4 techs, all by email.
Yeah,
all of it.
My dad works from like San Francisco all the way up to the Northern California border, and
what everyone considers, because like everyone considers North Cal to be like San Francisco to like Sacramento, but they forget about actual North Cal.
Yeah, like the other 3 hours worth of driving up.
Yeah, which has like Fortuna and Eureka,
mm-hmm.
and the little coast. Yeah, the coastal
all
town that I love
stuff.
going to there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Wait, hang on. I'm like actually looking at a Google map right now. They consider San Fran to be north?
Yes.
It's like in the dead middle of the state.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to why I'm always so irritated when anyone says North Cal is San Francisco. That started after I lived there. That is central San Francisco. That's like saying where I live in Washington, Wenatchee is Eastern Washington or Western Washington. It is Central Washington. Our college is Central Washington. It bothers the shit out of me. This is a topic that has bothered me for a while. That people consider San Francisco and the Bay Area North Cal.
I'm so sorry.
Why?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like he
Like,
covers
it is
area.
more north than south, but not by
It's
much.
Central California.
Yeah, it
Like,
is central.
For
I
my
would definitely
job,
say it's central.
like for my job, I work personally. I usually go from like at most I go to San
Drink your White Claw, Dev. Calm down.
By the way, the lemon is really fucking good.
Really?
It's
How many
like
have you had?
it's like a lemon juice. Is kind of how
What
it
have you
tastes.
had?
This
Is
is
that
the
your
second
second one?
This is my second for the night.
All right, he's not drunk enough yet for that to be impairing him, so I guess, yeah.
No, not
You
even
need 20
close. It's
more.
only 5% alcohol, man.
He really likes it. I know, I just didn't know, like, I lost track. I didn't know what you were on.
No, this one's fucking good. Like so far out of the the three that I've tried, I would say this
Anyway.
is number 3 is the number 3 would be mango, number 2 would be watermelon, number 1 might be lemon. After trying it.
Steven, finish your story. I think you had a little something left, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, two things. I was
Yeah.
gonna say like he covers a huge area for my
Yeah.
photo
fucking
job.
huge.
I go maybe at most to San Jose, which that's rare that I go that far south. Normally, at most south I go to is San Francisco, and I go as far up to maybe Eureka, at most. Most often, usually Fort Bragg. And if I'm heading east, I'd head maybe inward towards Napa. That's the furthest east I'd usually go. So that's like my delivery area essentially, my photo area. But he covers basically by himself all of Northern California because like some of the things that he works with, like he goes to the prisons up in Northern California, and the Northern California prisons are pretty intense. Like these are the high security prisons in California. So he goes to those prisons and things, and for those jobs, he himself has to go because he is the HP representative and employee.
You know what's interesting? I don't know how confrontational your dad is, but like, if he would ever be willing to put his resume out there for like, especially the part where I, for the most part, solo manage all on-site visits in Northern California, central to Northern California.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I was not about to get on this train again. I'm just wondering how many bites at that hook, like, would take
Like
place.
how many people would hire him?
Oh yeah, and pay him more money.
Like the only other thing that HP is willing to offer him, like job wise, is they can make him a site technician, where he would work at one place for like 3 or 4 months at a time. Like he would have to go live in that area and help build the whatever it is, and then he would come back. And he's like, no,
Nope.
That's not worth it.
Nope. I told my boss when I got hired, because he asked, and he said, he asked me, he's just like, honest answer. I said, okay. He said, every so often, techs have to go to one of the other facilities, which there are 5 facilities in the U.S. currently. There's about to be 6. 3 of them will actually be located where I live. Because that's just how much freaking crap goes on here. It's like every so often you might have to go to the other sites, to which we got one in Ontario, California, one in Valencia, and then one in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. That last one I've actually visited before. But he's like, it's like, would you be willing to like travel? And I basically was like, do I get to come back? And he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, you only be there for like a week or 2. And I'm like, and how often does this occur? He's like, not very often. Once, maybe twice a year. I was like, perfect. Sure. Why not?
Essentially you get to take a work trip at that point.
Here's the thing. You know, and that's kind of like, see, your little tone there was kind of like, hopeful, see new surroundings, meet new people, all this other
And if you
bullshit.
could take, I'm saying if you could take a couple extra days after.
I'm gonna tell you what really no, because I was on there on my company's dimes, and I wasn't gonna take no extra days. Meaning I couldn't take extra days because they already bought my return plane ticket.
Oh, that's right.
And they were too cheap to. They didn't want to give us our own rental car, so we had to ride with the actual company liaison, which was cool. Like the guy's name is Max. Like, he's a cool dude. He bought us. When was it? Second or third night? No, fourth night. Third night. We had to work at 12, and like by 9, and like we started like such and such time in the morning. It was actually over 12 hours. Like we didn't get back to the hotel until like midnight. And he's like, guys, don't know about you, but I'm going to the hotel bar tonight. And I'm like, same. And so it was me and my other technician coworker. Her name's Sam, and he bought all the drinks we had, including his own. We got hammered. And it was technically all on company money because they were paying us to be there. So,
I mean,
but
when the boss makes $1 and you make a dime, you get drunk on company time.
No, it was.
Don't do that. By the way,
we were very well done. So what it was is like my company was like going through. All right, I've explained this once before, but I'll go over it briefly again. It's like my company supports another company. So I'm an external contractor working with this company. I don't technically work for them, as I have to remind some of the management. But those are other stories. But like, so my boss was essentially like, we were in charge of upgrading this company from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And this one facility was about, 700 machines behind schedule.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like, we don't know either. We actually, like, me and Sam had many discussions. Like, why did this happen? Why is this a thing? Why, like, I don't understand it. And at the time, it could partially be said that this guy who worked there, his name's Cliff. He's a cool old dude. Cliff is like to the age to where he's one bad day away from retiring.
Or becoming
like
Joker.
he could retire at any point. And that's actually going to be a problem. Because I guarantee he will retire in the next 3 years. Like, I guarantee he will retire in the next 3 years. Within the next 3 years. Like, whether or not the world ends or not, he will retire the next 3 years. Because there's just only so much bullshit a man can take.
Yeah.
But he had a less than competent teammate with him that was eventually let go. Was actually, so they actually contracted through the same bunch that I did, which is funny. So in all technicality, at one point I was a contractor that worked for a contractor that contracted for this company. I had 3 rungs to this ladder. Now thankfully I just have 2, because my company liked me after 6 months and was like, yes, we would very much like to keep you on. How about you make close to double what you're making now? Perfect.
That's one, like, I was recommended that when I was living in Phoenix, applying for like a contractor position.
Yeah.
Or a temp job, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it, only because like they essentially told me that they'd be taking a part of my pay for helping me find the job.
Right.
Like, I couldn't bring myself to do that. I was like, I can find the job too then.
Well, here's the problem. I too thought that. But so the job paid me while I was contracting through them, which my experience was good with them. So like my contract was through a company called Insight Global. They paid for this position $15 an hour. I don't take home that, but that's just what they were paying. And so I was like, sure, yeah, that sounds great.
That's what I make
because
now.
I knew, huh?
That's what I make now.
Yeah. I don't.
Which, by the way, gotta thank Target for that, because I mean, like, not everyone went like, hey, we're gonna go 15 across the board. You know, we're gonna hit that, you know, what should be the minimum wage for people. We're gonna hit that before anyone else. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Speaking of minimum wage, fun fact: did you know most of the U.S. still only has $7.25 as their minimum wage?
Yeah, my state does
Funny
that.
enough, Arizona is higher than that.
Yeah, I thought federal minimum wage was 10 an hour because that's what Arizona's was.
No, because they've been raising it, weirdly enough.
Negatory.
Same with Texas, right?
At one summer working for the state park, I got to make 10 an hour. I thought I was making fucking bank.
Dude, that's how I felt when I like started doing the truck wash job, because I went from making at my convenience store job making like $7.25 an hour, or like $7.85, whatever minimum wage was at the time in Arizona. It was just above minimum wage for nationwide.
Yeah, mine was too. I think mine was like $7.75 or
I went from that to starting at 10 an hour, getting to 11 an hour, and then making $12.50 an hour as a supervisor. I was like, yo, I'm rolling in it.
Let's go. Yeah.
And I, at the time, because I was renting a place with fucking 8 people, that was a madhouse. That was a madhouse. Like one of our friends lived with me. Our friend Joe lived with me at the time. I don't know if he's told you those stories yet. Man, crazy shit happened there. It was not a place that he should have lived. I'm gonna say that. Our sweet friend.
For his safety or for everybody else's safety?
For his sanity.
Oh.
Oh. I felt like afterwards I feel so bad. I'm like, man, I should not have been like, yo, if you want a place. He should have gone with a different option at the time. Anyways, different story. But like I was making weekly, like, because of bonuses and stuff like that, sometimes I was making like, I was running off on a bandit. Like my boss literally said I was running off like a bandit some weeks with like 800 a week. Which in hindsight isn't a lot, but for what I was paying in bills and stuff like that, because I didn't have credit card debt, I didn't have school debts, I didn't have any of, I didn't have any debts really.
And that's the
I was on my dad's phone bill. I was on his insurance and I didn't have to pay for it because he's like, hey, I'll cover it. I'm like, yo, sweet. I had nothing. I had nothing that I had to pay for other than rent, electricity, and internet. And splitting that 7 to 8 ways is nothing. I was paying like $100 for rent. I was paying like $10 for internet. I was paying like $20 for electric. Because electric was a little high because you had 8 people in the house, but still. Like, I was running off like a fucking bandit with like $900 a fucking week, it felt like. I was rolling it. I bought some stupid shit. Half the shit I have hanging up around and stuff is shit I bought during that time.
Yep. There was a time where I had a job the summer before my senior year in high school. Guy who went to my church, he was new to the area. Actually moved from New York, I found out later. Don't know how he found northeastern Kentucky. I later found out he had family here. Somehow. But I was confused at that for a while. But he calls me up just randomly. And he's like, hey man, so what's going on? So I had nothing much. Listen, so I've got to he had his own lot of construction gig. And so he did residential construction and stuff. And he's like, I need some help for the summer. And it basically just kind of boils down to I need someone trustworthy and someone who's willing to work. So I was wondering if you'd be interested. And I was like, sure. He's like, all right, cool. How much you want to make? And I just kind of stopped. You know, pre-senior in high school. And I'm like, how much do you want to pay me? And he's like, how's 10 an hour sound? Yeah. Let's go with that. And he's like, all right, cool. So basically we'll be, show up to the job at 8, we'll leave at 4. Or, if we have something extra, we'll get it done. And we'll just, I'll pay you Friday and we take the weekend off and we do it again Monday. Sounds great. and he paid me in cash every Friday. I didn't have to pay taxes on none of that.
Man. Under the table.
Oh,
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like,
man.
well, for me, one of the things that
Can't
like,
freaking claim it as job experience, but damn, it paid good.
with me, one of the things that I want to do, this involves Stevin, because right now I'm kind of paying him 10 an hour. Right, if I remember correctly, it was what we kind of said, because you said like.
I think so. Yeah.
I
don't entirely remember. It might have originally been 10 an hour, but now that I'm actually putting a little more effort into the videos, it's a little less. But
I'll say he's gonna revisit that, is what he's saying.
Well, we've been discussing. No, that's one of our main discussions. I want to be able to do like. I would love to be able to set it up so that Stevin is actually just like a full-time editor. My
personal hopes is that I doubt this will happen with Dev, or at least anytime soon with Dev. Is I would love to be paid as an editor $60 per video.
Oh God, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I want to pay you $20 an hour. That's my goal right now.
Yeah, my only hope is
to double what I'm paying.
An hour, but like,
well, because how I look at it is like, if I get a promotion, obviously, then I'm like, hey, your pay's going up. Every time I get a raise, it's like, hey, your pay's going up some too. At work.
That reminds me, I should grab the money from PayPal.
Yeah, before they start taking it. I fucking hate that they do that. Fucking PayPal, if you leave your money in there for too long, they're like, hey, we're gonna start taking some of it. Thanks. And I'm like,
thanks for
you bitches. Which also is why I need to switch off Wells Fargo, because they're starting to charge me, because I turned 25, they're starting to charge me $10 a month.
I think you have to have a certain amount of money in your account.
Yeah, you have to have fucking $5,000.
Let me get this straight.
That's a lot of money.
You need to have a certain amount of money in the account before they quit taking from the account?
Yeah!
Why?
Because they want to make money off of you. Which is why I'm going to switch to a local bank that doesn't do that. But I want to be able to pay Stevin to be my full-time editor at some point, which is why I want, like, that's what my goal is with my channel and stuff like that, is to get Stevin full-time, because then we could do, like, 4 videos a week, 5 videos a week, and pay him, like, $20 per hour, roughly. I mean, it would be, like, a stipulated, like, hey, I'm paying you for this amount of videos. And we can I'd be the person who's, like, when I get my paycheck, this week or the next check, part of my bonus I'm getting is going to him. I try to give some of the money I make as extra, because I think that's a good business model anyways. Because if I have extra that I'm not going to use on something that I need to use it on, or that I'd want to use it on right away, then I'm like, hey, I can use that for someone else. I don't know why more people don't do that. As in just major businesses and stuff like that, because I think that's a good model, is to be able to pay people even some more extra. If like that month you make a lot of money, like for the company, they're like, hey, here's a little extra. Which is why, weirdly enough, I liked the truck wash job, because you got bonus for making a certain amount of money during that day. You can make bonus. It's a great practice in my opinion, because like if you guys worked hard enough and got enough money through the day, like your paycheck went from like, yeah, that's pretty good, to damn, that's pretty good. In like
a lot of the positions at the warehouse that I work at, like for the floor people, like they have incentive pay. Like if you get to a certain level of production, then it goes to whatever an hour.
Yeah. No, see, I feel like that should be a more common thing.
Right, but here's the problem in this particular warehouse is like incentive pay also includes the guys who drive the forklifts and all the other machinery. And every so often you got the ones that drive it like it's the Indy 500, which makes the warehouse a little more than hazardous to walk through on some days.
Yeah, well, that's when you, my personal opinion is that, like, and I think it's partially because of working at Target, like, safety is a huge thing there. And they are heavily enforced about it.
That's why boxes fell on you.
One time, well, technically twice. But once was, both times are really not my fault, but like,
well, it's not your fault, but they care so much about safety that you were the victim of accidents at work.
Twice, apparently.
The first one was totally on that. The store I worked at in Vegas was crap. I will fully admit that. The store I work at now is like leagues and bounds beyond that with a lot of stuff. They take a lot of personal care with people. The one in Vegas was just like, hey, get to work. The Vegas store it fucking sucked. I don't know, man. The one I work at in Wenatchee is fucking great. They treat you like a fucking human being. My boss is great because I was able to talk to him literally this week and be like, hey, so I think part of the cause for why I'm oversleeping right now is because I've been dealing with, I think I've fallen into a small depressive episode. So that's why I think that I've, been oversleeping a little bit. And he's like, hey, that's perfectly understandable with everything going on. Like, I get it. So just, take care of yourself if you have to and stuff like that. I'm like, thanks. Thank you.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, my boss will actually never, like, he has said, you want to make sure you take care of yourself or blah, 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 or whatever. But, like, he has never, like, actively reached out in concern of, like, are you cool? Like, Star's job has, like, a lot, actually. Like, they've had extra days and, like, all this other stuff, like, off and, like, vacation time, extra 6 days. And I'm just over here, like, yeah, I'm just closing a dozen tickets in 2 weeks, and I don't even get a fucking attaboy from my boss. I was like, cool.
That's some bullshit.
Appreciate it. Also, I wasn't laughing at your story. I seen that Stevin posted that clip in the chat, and I actually just watched it. Steven,
I thought you were laughing at me because, like, obviously,
No.
I will fully admit, I'm pretty sure I got buzzed. Like, during that heated moment, I felt the buzz come through, and I'm like,
No, I
man,
haven't. No,
because
I wasn't laughing at you.
I stumbled on a couple words there, and I'm like, that was.
Steven's.
I'm feeling it,
Steven's-
Mr.
Steven's
Krabs.
reaction was pretty priceless.
The kill shot,
I was waiting for the shot to happen, and what I wasn't expecting was that was gold.
Oh, Steven, something that I've been thinking about because I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter lately, as a way to utilize Twitter. Would you be willing to send me like the minute that you think is funniest in a video, and I could post that with the link to the video?
Maybe.
Or
Like
whatever
a
part
timestamp?
you would want to like cut from it that you think would be like entertaining, to like a small tidbit that doesn't reveal everything but feels like it would entice people.
Basically, like a little clip, essentially.
Yeah, whatever you feel like you would want to post to it. Because then I could post that to Twitter with the videos, and we could potentially do that with the videos for the podcast, stuff like that. But I don't know if we want to use our. Do we want to use our Twitter to post the YouTubes and all that for here? Because we are very inconsistent on this channel. We are horribly inconsistent on YouTube.
Depends on my mood.
Depends on my memory. This podcast, it completely depends on my memory. Like, oh yeah, I have a reminder for that. I'm totally gonna remember. Fucking 2 weeks later. Fuck.
Also, real quick, since we're talking about like editing and stuff, it's like this was a birthday present that I got. It's a drawing tablet.
Yo, I am looking at learning how to do animation here soon. Just from home as a hobby kind of side thing. So I want to start cause I mean, I used to do a lot of art stuff because I found a lot of my old art when I'm cleaning. Dude, I want to do that again. I want to get back into that.
I don't know how much stuff something like what I have would help with that, but mine is like for my Photoshop stuff, and like I've been like doing a little bit of digital art, dabbling with it as well. Like just as a for fun thing to do. I was just kind of just doodling around, and I thought of something random to do, and I drew just Dexter's head, like from Dexter's lab.
Nice.
And I'm like, this actually, yeah, I was like, this actually.
It doesn't mean laboratory.
I mean, it don't look great, but it don't look all that bad either. But it makes Photoshop editing so much easier. I honestly thought they were a little bit overhyped, and then I started playing with it because I was like, my mom was pestering me. Was like, you need to tell me something for your birthday. Like, you understand, this woman is like helping me like pay for some of my wedding, and like she's already bought me. I found out over the weekend, last weekend, just how many presents like she bought me and Tiffany, and I was like, Mom, I didn't need anything else for my birthday. Like, we good. But so finally I was like, fine, just get that. Here's the specs, blah blah blah. Just get it. It's fine. And she actually got it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like $60. It's not like horribly expensive. The stylus is really cool though because it's not like powered. It's like magnetic, and so that's how it interacts with the sensors, and it's really accurate.
Like, I've heard of people who will edit like video footage using a stylus pen.
I mean, so yeah, especially if you're like doing like animation stuff and video effects, I can see where it would come in handy because it's essentially like Photoshop with movement. But at least for the stuff that I edit with, I don't need it for that. I definitely need it for a lot of the edits that I use. I was using it the other day and just like messing around with shit, and I'm like, oh my god, I would have saved so much damn time with it, man. Like, I still need to work on it a little bit as far as like what keys I want, because there's like, I don't know if you can even like see it, but there's like, it's all touchpad, so there's like 4 programmable buttons here, and I could set those to whatever key I want, which in turn would then activate whatever that key is bound to in Photoshop. And then there's a scroll and zoom pad. There's only 4 keys. Like, I found the one that like had 16 or something, and I'm like, I don't use that many shortcut keys in Photoshop, so that seems a little excessive.
But I would honestly just like a shortcut for one key, the selection tool. But like,
the stylus has 2 buttons. You don't even need to touch the pad for that. You could just set button 1 to the selection tool. Boop. Now you're on select.
It'd be so much easier.
I also like, that's one of the things I'm gonna.
$60, dude. It's called the Vikk, VIKK. Or Vikk. And I got the AT30. There's like an AT60, which I guess is like the better one, but the AT30 is pretty good.
Photoshop has an animation program, right?
Photoshop has animation capability, yeah. You're talking like Adobe having one, or Photoshop, like within Photoshop?
Like Adobe, like they're like, because like Adobe has like that list of things that like if you Adobe do it, you subscribe to everything.
Adobe has. Adobe Animate is what it's called.
Okay. Yeah, because that's a hobby that I've thought about picking up at some point, because like I've always liked animation, and I've always wanted to do animation. It's just that like I just haven't had the opportunity to. Yeah,
I'm gonna be very happy. I'm very happy. Like, so like, just a random thing that I was just drawing in it the other day, which is funny enough, was essentially, it was actually an emote for you. Was a crown that said Door King on it.
Oh. You guys, you and Stevin, you motherfuckers, like, draw shit, and I'm like, man, like, when people randomly do that, because, like, he made that fucking dork potato, and I'm like, man, if I had more emote slots, that is immediately in there. Because, like, I feel like it'd be weird if that was the only tier 1, you know what I mean? I haven't rendered it in a style that is just for emotes. Like, I can make it bigger if you want to use it for something else. Like, I'll send you a picture of it. It's like, it's a rough sketch, dude. I was just practicing basically line work and symmetry and all this other stuff, and more or less just doing something from an idea that I wasn't referencing anything, because Dexter I had to reference because I couldn't remember how his head sloped. Actually, speaking of art, I mean, when Steven gets back, so there's not dead air, I can go grab my art like folder that I found in it like this week, because there's some cool shit that I drew that like I'm weirdly proud of, because I only do freehand. Because there's people who like everything I did, at least in middle school, because it's all from middle school and high school stuff that I have on hand, for the most part. I've done some stuff since then, like my one thing I drew for the Sounders logo on stream, but like everything I did was freehand, because like I weirdly didn't understand the whole like oval line thing at the time. I'm like, I don't get all the steps. I know I get the steps now. They make perfect sense as an adult. Yeah. But my dumbass brain was like, I'm just gonna freehand all of it. So I'm gonna go grab that real quick and explain it. That's exactly how I did it. That is 100% how I did it. And what's funny, I honestly wish some of them didn't turn out as good, because not that, they weren't like great or anything, at least I don't think they were, but they were like enough to where it's like, this is actually pretty decent. Yeah. That's how I was about
I
it.
wish they didn't, because I used like for just some of the practice sketches I've been doing lately. I'm using the lines, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes measuring shit out so much easier, and like it makes more sense. And especially when you're doing it in a digital format, you can just easily delete the lines, so it's nice, clean, and all this stuff.
I'm gonna go grab those real quick.
Okay, he's showing off art because we talked. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
Dev
talking
always
art.
has to show off his accomplishments, So
Hey, I mean, if I had artwork that I was brave enough to show on stream, I'd show it.
like the bravest I've ever been with showing artwork is Dev's opening and closing graphic. I made those from scratch, and like,
Yeah, they look
That's
good
cool.
too. So it's like the best thing that I think I've done recently, arts wise, is I've showed you two like privately. I don't think I've ever shown it like publicly. But the Photoshop edit I did of Danielle and
that's
the
really cool.
This one is one of the ones I'm most proud of.
yeah, I need to full screen it. Dude, that actually looks pretty.
It's Tupac.
I know what it is.
The only problem I have is the eyes, but I like
Eyes are fucking hard, dude.
They are.
But this is
The eyes are one of these
completely
things that are,
freestyle.
like, Eyes are one
freehand.
of those things that is like you don't think they're that hard until you start, and then you're like, oh.
I have that. I have an Agumon right here. That's pretty good in my opinion. It's not
Let me
perfect.
see the Agumon, and let me either relive or burn my childhood memories. Actually, it's pretty legit.
not bad. He's got
Actually, it's pretty legit.
Its
I was
jaw's not
actually
as long as it should be, but
jaw's not as long. The eye, I think, is a little small.
like I'm getting a real like Crimson Chin vibe here.
well, honestly, it probably would have been better if I turned it into
No.
a Greymon. Turn the top into
Honestly,
it.
I'm looking at this. I'll be honest, like the eyes looks like the eye just gives you such a cute vibe. I'm thinking Chomper from Land Before Time is actually what I'm thinking of. That's what, like Chomper as a teenager, honestly, like because he's
Oh,
he's a
I mean,
little
there's
more
this
buff.
one too. There's Brawly.
Ugh, all that hair. I hated trying to draw Super
Dude.
Saiyan anything.
Drawing Super Saiyan Brawly was
I
the
hate-
worst.
I hated trying to draw Super
This
Saiyan.
one's
anything.
one of the best because I actually colored it too.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I like it.
I have a few others in here, but like it's all stuff that like I have some real people like this one, not great, but it's like of Eminem, the hoodie. Not
Not
quite
bad.
detailed, but it's
See,
not like it's a good
just-
person, but it doesn't quite look like Marshall Mathers.
I'll say it's a good person. If you hadn't told, I'll be just to be honest about it. If you hadn't told me who it was, I don't think I would have got it by myself. But
See, that's why you don't tell people what you're drawing.
Gary,
Gary
yeah,
the Mouse.
like, I had a teacher in high school who was like, I like to draw things all the time, but I won't tell people what I'm drawing until it's done because I'll say I'm
Is this
drawing
a
a
teacher
house.
I had too?
Probably yes.
Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly
he'll
what you're
be like-
talking about.
Yeah, he's like, I'll draw a house. And then halfway through, he gets bored of drawing a house, so he draws something else, and then people judge him for not drawing a
oh, I
house.
saw the eyes for a brief moment, and I thought you were gonna pull out Yoshi and not a Koopa.
I think I had a Yoshi at one point. Some of these got lost.
Now we have to wait
Dude.
for Dev to pull out the pervy drawings.
No, I didn't do a
hate-
lot of those. This is one of my favorites. Because the eyes are not quite right, but like, you know who it is.
They're not quite right. Of course, we know who it is. Good old Krillin.
It's your
Pre
boy
him trying to-
Luigi.
Not bad.
This is all stuff I
Had
did
this-
in middle school. Like,
Yeah, head's a smidge long. When I was in, see, and that's the thing too. It's like a lot of missed opportunity went into proper. I like Yamara. Yamara is pretty proportionate actually.
sucks. I like Luigi
Like
better.
I had a bunch of how to draw books.
I had the Dragon Ball Z
like-
one.
I had Dragon Ball Z, I had Pokemon, I had Nintendo, I had a more detailed kind of fantasy art one. Like that was the one where that would have really come in handy to like follow the instructions. No, I just skipped to the last page to try to freehand everything. And I was confused as to why it worked so well for some of the other ones, but didn't really seem to work for a lot of detailed armor and bullshit.
Uh-huh. I own everything. Uh-huh. His eyes aren't quite right, but still, I did Simba as well.
Nice.
Like some of these are good, some of these are like, oh.
Again, but like for me being in middle school, they weren't
I won't
bad.
go so far as to say because I can see immediate. I have a realization of who they are. I'll be honest with you. That right there, it's actually my least favorite one so far.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's
Like
fair.
just in terms of like it's almost Snoopy, but it's not quite. See the other ones? I don't know.
Like that looks like an original.
That looks
very
like season
girly.
that looks like season 1 Stewie.
Yeah.
That looks like season 1 Stewie.
Which is a problem because that was like season, like I drew it off of based off of the season like 5.
Well,
But again, I did it all freehand.
Yeah, let's see. We know who it is.
I don't know. Like I want to get into actual like art again. This is something that I used to do a lot of. I just kind of missed that.
Like I was very happy. I didn't realize how much I was looking forward to like playing with the drawing pad and like doing Photoshop stuff.
Like, I accidentally hit add. How did I
You
accidentally hit
accidentally
add?
hit add?
How do I turn that off? Can I not cancel that?
know.
I don't know. Like, I don't see an ad popping up yet, so.
Oh wait,
We're
are we
subbed.
subs though? Yeah, we're subs.
I guess we'll stay here for a second.
It's 30 seconds.
Yeah, like how do you even know when it's? Oh, you actually see it on your end?
Because if you hit pre-roll add, because it also stops pre-rolls for a while. It's got like 20 seconds left right now.
Okay, well I figure.
Well, I know where we can
After-
put our mid-roll, because we
Well,
make
I
money on
figured-
these.
Well, I figure after this commercial
10
break, we
seconds.
probably want to find a place to end because we're at an hour 45 right now.
I was
Yeah, we
thinking
are.
that too. Can we hit the wacky news story I sent you and then call it quits?
You sent me a wacky news story?
I did. Directly message you a wacky news story.
I was honestly planning on trying to bring this up at about an hour and 15, and then we started talking about shit.
Mhm.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we're live. We're
We've
good.
been live this whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know we've been live this whole time.
And
it dawned on me is
the
that-
recorded
it dawned
version,
on me, actually.
the YouTube version of this will have no problem because no one will know anything. Like they would not have noticed a
Cool.
difference.
Yeah, what's funny is like that's the thing is like we immediately start a conversation like it's just us, never minding the fact that we have subs in the chat. It's like you have a backstage pass to all their bullshit, including some pointless intermission.
Random
content.
intermission that just accidentally happened. Because I was just moving my mouse, like I moved my mouse, but I accidentally came down hard and hit the mouse button. So that happens occasionally.
We're coming in hot.
Too much. Before
like-
I
It's like
accidentally hit.
Jim, you can't push it any faster. Slow it down, Jim.
I'm good. Oh, she's got Captain.
Dude, I saw a Star Trek meme the other day that was like, we've got to cut the power to the engines or else we'll explode. And then the captain replies, okay, that's totally fine because once you cut engines, we'll just keep going at this pace until acted upon by an equal and opposite force. And it's like you forget that in Star Trek because any other time in Star Trek, they're like, we have to cut power to the engines. And as soon as they do, they start slowing down. And they, like, yeah.
In reality, they're powering the forward engines.
I watched a so it's like the breakdown or a couple of these other YouTube videos they'll do, or a couple channels they'll do, bring in famous people that are professionals of what they do, and they break down certain movies based on the genre. They had Chris Hadfield come in and break down space movies. I don't know if it was the breakdown, it was somebody though, and I'm like, this is gonna be great. Like he is going to rip these movies to shreds. And he does, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, see,
Like he makes fun of Armageddon for the coming in hot line. He's like, coming in hot. Who even says that? Like we've never said that.
Well, the thing I like about Star Wars is like people have created it like the canon of, at least I think it's still I think it was canon, is that Star Wars, that space has an atmosphere to it. So you do need to propulsion. You can purport, or like have jet propulsion through there, and like you have slowdown and stuff like that. I think that was the excuse why like the X-wings are aerodynamic, and they're not even like truly aerodynamic because
like
they're
how
because they're just
how.
they're
Like maybe not, I can see them being like those wings like causing some kind of stabilization effect, but as far as like zipping through the space waves, like I just don't see it, you know. But no, he got to the part, what's the freaking, it's the Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence movie, like they're the only two people away from this, Passengers, where the gravity thing shuts off and so the ring stops spinning. And it was cool because he pointed out like a lot of like really educational things. This is one of them. He's like, why did they just stop? Like these things should have kept going for a while because nothing is stopping them. So it's almost as if the power going out pushed the brake pads down. And it would have had to been some jumbo brakes basically.
Huh. I thought of that.
Yeah, in space they would just kept going. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and then of course, essentially during that same week, I obsessively watched a bunch of international spaceship videos, and that's mostly due to the fact because Dragon was also landed.
I'm still waiting for Dragon to like. At one point, me and Dragon were talking about going through all of the Legends of Korra. Not gotten through that yet.
I haven't
come
gone
on
through
Netflix
Legend
at some
of Korra
point.
yet either.
It's true. Like she started, I had gone through and already watched all of Avatar: The Last Airbender for like the third time, and she and someone else had started a viewing party of Avatar, and I was like, "Oh, I would join you," but I literally just watched this, and I don't really feel like watching it again. So once you hit Legends of Korra, let me know, and I'll start joining you. And I guess they never hit Legends of Korra, or they did, and they just don't like me.
More than likely, they got distracted about halfway through.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
on this
wacky news
story.
What a segue.
Yeah, sorry. I just figured we might as well hit it real quick. Man lost his penis.
Distracted.
Yeah, we are super. There's no way I was gonna get tangented over here. Okay. Stevin sent me this. Man lost penis to blood infection. Has new one built on his arm.
So if you go through, read the article, he like has a blood infection, bad things starts happening, like his penis goes black. And eventually he gets a new one installed onto his arm. Want me to send you the link, Jay? You're muted.
I don't want to be sent the link to this.
Your no was above your microphone limits. We couldn't hear it. We could just see it.
Good. Good. If I don't get a noise complaint tonight, that's gonna be a miracle.
So yeah.
Are you
wacky news, man?
Why the arm?
I can't. I can't look at this anymore.
You can't look at a blurred out arm?
No, it's like just the thought of it there. Number one, the thought of it turning black. Okay, and then
I'm just imagining like a shake weight helicopter dick, helicopter dick.
What the fuck?
They already look weird. Why do you have to do this?
Dude, dicks are fucking weird. Also, America's fucking weird about dicks.
Please tell me somewhere
why
that
do we
this is
still?
proven to be a fake
Why
article.
is it still a common thing for us to circumcise?
America's weird.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah,
and at risk of doing something worse or getting distracted again for another hour. Roll the credits. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Penis. You can follow us over on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter.
/penis.
Penis. Penis. Unarmed helicoptering. You can follow us on all of our things. Our names are down below. You just search that. You'll find us. Don't worry.
I was about to say, Jay's gonna get rid of our Minecraft server.
Well, now I'm Caver J. Penis.
No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. I didn't know where it would land.
Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Wear your masks. Take care of each other. You know, be smart out there.
Bye.
Yeah. Good night.